What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Call Her Creator, powered by Stan. I'm your host, Caitlin Rhodes, and today I have one of my bestest creative friends ever, Monty. What's
Let's grow. What's up? What's up, Kate?
up, man? He's the best. If Monty, what's your Instagram handle? Is it Monty?
Monty Lands. MontyLans.
Okay, so it's just sure. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So Monty is like seriously one of the greatest people you will ever meet. I had the privilege of meeting him last summer at Stan's $1 Million Mastermind. And I just immediately, when you walk into the room, you light it up just because you're so sweet and joyous and happy in what you do. And
Thank
so I'm
you.
like, I have to get Monty on the podcast because he does such an excellent job at creating content, and you've grown your following and you've got a membership. Do you call it a
Yeah.
membership? What did you call it earlier?
Yeah, it's a club, it's a community, private community. Yeah.
We'll dive into that in a little bit too.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he's hilarious. He does dancing. He pranks his mother. All the things that truly make you stop mid scroll, Monty does. So today we're going to learn about how he's built this really incredible personal brand. It's magnetic. It's intentional. You know, all the behind the moments, behind the scene moments, the killer content strategy. I just kind of want to talk about all of it, and hopefully Monty can help you guys get out of your slump if you're scared to post, if you're, I don't know. We don't know what's holding you back, but we'll find out today. But
Right.
let's just start with you, Monty. Like,
Yeah.
what even inspired you to pick up your phone one day and say, you know what, I'm gonna start posting to Instagram?
Yeah, that's funny. First of all, thank you for inviting me on here. You already know we're homies and I got nothing but love for you. And yeah, we definitely like connected really strong at the Stan event. And it was like, yeah, this is one of my new buddies, right?
Yeah,
So
same.
just the bubbly, fun, loving personality, definitely magnetic. And yeah, going to your question, what told me to like pick up the phone and start creating content. Like if we want to get technical, I have been a content creator since I was like a teenager, early teenager. I was always like in my family, out of all my siblings, like I'm the funny guy, I'm the silly guy. Like everybody has a sense of humor in my family, but I'm always the over the top, willing to make crazy faces, do crazy dances, wear stupid outfits just to like make people laugh. And I think as a kid, it was just like a kind of like a not a I guess like a coping mechanism to a certain degree, but it was also just how I like made friends and how I like got rid of like awkwardness and tension and things like that. I remember at my at my graduation, like when I walked across stage in kiddie college, aka like preschool kindergarten, I like had like this big old Steve Harvey suit on, and like I got my diploma, and I like did like a funny dance in the middle of the stage, and everybody started laughing. And I think like from that moment I was like, oh, I like making people laugh. So I
Yes.
always had that. And then I started picking up my phone and like recording, doing like funny skits and funny videos, mainly when I got into college. So I got into comedy and like making sketch comedy and skits, and then got into stand up. And I've always had a camera in front of my face for some reason. And of course, when I did business stuff, I got into like motivational videos and things like that too. So content creation, I've been doing that for a while, like over 10 years, but for the purpose of like social media and growing a personal brand, um, I'd say probably like the last like 8 years, 8 years. Yeah.
Did you get inspired by someone else that was already doing it on Instagram, or like how did you
Yeah.
utilize it as a business?
Yeah. So it started with Instagram, I would say maybe about like 8 years ago. My wife and I, big foodies, like we bond over food. We obsess over food. We love going and trying different restaurants and things like that. And I don't know, I just, I was on Instagram and I just started seeing like these foodies, like these food influencers, and they were like posting these like drooling pictures, these pictures that make you drool and make your mouth water. And like I'm looking, they got like thousands of likes and tens of thousands of followers. And then I saw like there were these creators that were like, yeah, we do this full time. And I'm like, what do you mean you do what full time? And they're like, well, we eat full time. And I'm like, that sounds cool, but like, what do you really do? And they're like, yeah, no, like we get paid to like create content and to like go to restaurants. Like restaurants want us to feature them on our channel. So they pay us to come eat there. I'm like, what? So I'm like, yo, babe, McDonald's is down the block. um, like, they got this Chinese restaurant around the corner. Let's go get our camera. Let's go take some. You mean we can get paid? And at the very least, like some of these creators are like, yo, we eat for free. Like wherever we go. Like, cause I asked, I'm like, yo, like, do they make you pay for the food? They're like, no. Like, all they want us to do is just make a post about them. And I'm like, what? I was like, I could take pictures of hamburgers and hot dogs and you know what I'm saying, little sushi rolls and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, babe, we about to be food influencers. So I just got, and at the time I was like, we were broke. We were living in like a small 1 bedroom rundown apartment. I was working at like the YMCA and I was trying to build like a network marketing business at the same time. But
Wow.
it was just like something to pass time, but it was also fun and there was a thrill behind like this new thing. And yeah, we long story short, just started going to restaurants, taking nice pictures, posting it up, making like a nice little review about our experience about the food. And it next thing you know, we got thousands of followers coming in, and then all of a sudden, local restaurants are hitting us up to come in for a free tasting, and then we built like a system around it. And I think we stopped after a while. I definitely want to go back. That'll probably be like one of my next ventures. But yeah, we grew our following to about like 10,000 followers.
Oh
We
my
ate,
God.
yeah, ate,
You gave up on this?
well, we weren't really making a lot of money from it.
Okay.
We did get some paid brand deals, right? Like, so we made a few $1,000s in like paid brand deals. But yeah, we just got sidetracked. We needed more money. We need to get back to work. But we did eat like tens of thousands of dollars of free food. We got invited out to crazy events. We went to like Heineken headquarters. We got invited out to the Explorers Club. Like, you have to be like the elite of elite to get invited to the Explorers Club in New York City. But yeah, we got invited out to that and so many other events. It was just amazing. But that was like my first moment where I realized like being a content creator can absolutely change your life if you actually take it serious. So, yeah, that was when I really first started picking up a phone and recording content with intention on Instagram.
With those 10,000 followers, was there like a turning point or like a viral moment that helped you get those 10,000, or was it just consistently showing up?
Yeah, so it was consistently showing up. Back then, there was a lot of like engagement groups that help you get like a boost of reach and views and things like that. Now it's like forbidden to do an engagement group,
Yeah,
but
I had
yeah,
an engagement pod too. So I had I don't talk about this a lot, but I had a mommy blog
yeah.
whenever I had my first kid, and I was in some engagement pods too with that account.
You see, yeah, yeah,
And now
yeah.
those
It
blown
worked.
up. Yeah.
No, it worked. It worked at the time, but like the algorithm changed and like people changed and it got like frowned upon. So we kind of went away from that. But we also had we would do like some promos, like a go to like a promo page, promote our food or whatever, try to
Yeah.
get like a boost of views. And we did some other things. There were like certain like tools, like apps that you can use that would like help you get a little bit more exposure organically in front of people. So we like dabbled with that, and most of it was just like organic posting content, follow, unfollow, follow,
Yeah.
unfollow, follow. You know what I mean? Like we did that whole thing too. We were just trying all the hacks, all the tricks to just grow our following, and eventually we had content that just brought in natural followers because people just loved our videos. And I have a sense of humor, so I was acting silly, like I would be dancing with food and making silly
Oh,
faces. Yeah, so people loved it, and we kind of built our community around that. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so you were doing that, you kind of step away from it, and then do you immediately go to build your own personal brand, or was there a
Good question. So how I got into what I do now, that was a result of the pandemic.
oh,
Yeah, in 2020. So, I was doing like residential solar. Um, and then because of the pandemic and like quarantine and all that, the company kind of shut down their operations. So I was living on like unemployment for a little while. I was living on like the PPP loan for a little bit because I was still in like network marketing as like a solopreneur, sole proprietor type thing. So I qualified for the PPP. Um, but I just kind of, I guess I kind of fell into like depression because I'm like, yo, like I'm not like I don't want to live off the government. Like I'm like it's good that I have this money, this unemployment and PPP, but like at the end of the day, like I know I'm meant for something more. Like I want to do something, and I've never been a job person. Like every job that I've had, I either got fired or I quit. You know what I mean? Like I'm just not built to work a job, work for somebody else, or be bound to a certain place against my will. You know what I mean? And I was like, you know what? I know I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I know I have a creative gift. I know I like making people laugh and I like helping people. What is something I can do? Like, I'm like talking to God. I'm like, yo, God, like, what can I do to make money helping people, but use my gifts and actually enjoy what I'm doing? And I had like this epiphany one random night, and I thought about like everything that my wife and I did with our foodie page. And I was like, yo, like, well, I can create, I'm a good content creator. I have an idea of like how to build a community on like Instagram. So, what if I become like an Instagram coach? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know everything, but if I'm at level 4, I can at least teach people who are at level one, two, three. You know what I mean? And make some money there.
Ooh.
So, yeah, something told me, you know what? Get into coaching, bro. Like because I already had friends that were talking about becoming influencers and things like that. So I knew that there was a market for it, and it was perfect timing because the pandemic brought everybody home and in front of their cell phone on social media, right? This is when apps like Clubhouse were actually popular because you couldn't go anywhere, right? So you would just want to like spend your time joining in conversations and still having a sense of human connection. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna make a presentation. I said, babe, I'm making a presentation. So it was like 8 o'clock at night, and from 8 o'clock at night to like 4 in the morning, I was working on my first like presentation, like coaching program. And I put it all together. It had to be, I think it was like 50 something slides. I probably still have it somewhere. It was like 50 something slides, and I just picked up the phone and started like calling friends like, yo, you still want to be that travel influencer? Yo, you still want to like learn how to like grow on Instagram? Because they saw what my wife and I did with our foodie page, and they were always asking like, yo, man, I wish I could do that. I got this idea, but I don't know where to start. So I was like, yo, let me get some proof of concept by working with some friends. You know what I mean? I'm not going to charge them like a crazy amount of money. I do need to see if people will actually pay for it. Obviously, my friends are willing to like pay $100 or whatever because it's nothing, to support me in that way. And so I just started working with close friends. Like a lot of them came from the company that I was working with in network marketing, and I got great feedback. They were like, "Yo, like Monty, you really know your stuff. Like I didn't know any of this stuff that you were telling me. Like this is amazing." And I was like, "Cool." I was like, how much would you actually pay for this? I would ask that question. Like, I know you paid me $100, but like, how much would you actually pay for this now that you see how much value is in it? They're like, "Oh yeah, no, I definitely pay like $300 to $500 for what you did." And I'm like, hmm, okay. That's a little scary, but okay, it's good to know. I'm like $300 to $500. Like part of me was like, ah. The other
Yeah.
side of me was like, ooh, you really gonna take that much money from people? You know? So yeah, but I had the proof of concept, and I was like, all right, game on. Like I'm gonna really do this, and that's where the journey kind of kicked off. And I'll shut up so you can ask me another question.
Love that. So I remember seeing your videos and being like, who's that guy? He's
Yeah,
funny. Because I'm also funny on my reels. Like I try not to be too serious. So I was like, who's this guy that's being all funny? He's kind of like
yeah,
me. And then I got
yeah,
to
yeah.
life and I'm like, oh my God, I love him. How do you, how do
That's
you
awesome.
balance, speaking of funny, like how do you balance between creating entertaining content, but also content that's going to really convert people and build those deeper relationships?
My sense of humor is my superpower. I feel like everybody has a superpower, right? In your personality, in your perspective, your persona, your environment. You know what I mean? Your backstory, um, your cadence, the way you talk. Everybody has a superpower, right? And I think part of evolving as a creator is exploring and identifying what that superpower is. And then it's also embracing that superpower because we live as ourselves our entire life. So we don't necessarily see something special in ourselves. It's hard to look at yourself and be like, that's that's great about me. That quality is amazing. This is what makes me stand out. To you, it's like my voice sounds crackly and I hate it sounds like I'm gargling when I talk, but like to other people it's like yo like your voice is so distinct like it's captivating. You're like it's not captivating. It actually hurts. You know what I mean? Like you know what I'm saying? Like
I
I'm just
can't
I'm
with you.
you know what I mean? So like some people like hate their voice, but it is actually their distinct voice that makes people want to actually pay attention to them.
Yeah.
For me, it's my sense of humor. Comedy, humor has always been a part of my life. It heals, it heals wounds. It gets rid of awkward silences. It makes me feel comfortable. It helps me make friends. It helps me find joy and create joy. It's always been a part of my life. So I knew that when it actually got me out of depression. Like, so at the end of the day, like, I knew that it was already an authentic part of who I am. So I just had to figure out how to like tie important messages and lessons from like the social media aspect to my sense of humor. Use my humor as an amplifier or use my humor as a way to attract people. But obviously, there's a serious side of me as well, and I'm a Gemini. I don't want to get into the whole horoscope thing, but like the way my personality is, um, I have a serious side, but I also have a very silly side, right? And I just found a natural way to combine humor and value and call it edutainment. You know what I mean? Like that's a thing. So, my humor is what grabs people's attention. It's what makes people feel connected to me. But the value is also what helps them feel empowered, feel informed, and, feel like they can do something new that they didn't do before because they didn't have the information. And I have the serious content too because I want it to be a balance. I don't want people to just always take me as a joke. I want them to know that I also have a serious or professional side as well, and that that's a part of my nature too. Like we can have a serious conversation when I'm mentoring you. I want people when they come to my page, I want them to see all of what they will potentially experience if they were to hire me as a coach, if they were to work with me. So it's like, hey, this guy, we're gonna laugh, but he's gonna get on me. He's gonna hold me accountable. He's gonna call me out on the things I'm doing wrong, when I'm being lazy, if I'm procrastinating, if I'm staying stuck in my own ways, being stubborn. Like he's also gonna do that as well. And he also has like a deep intellect that creates the purpose, or that's driven from his purpose. You know what I mean? He has a intellect to understand the psychographic or the psychology aspect of what I'm going through, right? Because being a creator, it is such a complete experience. Like you experience so many elements of life as a creator, right? First of all, you're an alchemist. You're turning intangible ideas into tangible impact, right? Tangible impressions, tangible transformations, tangible connections. There is a sense of competition and accountability because you see other people that are thriving in environments that you're using as an excuse, they're using as a reason. Oh, I got kids, I can't create. And this person has 10 kids and they're creating with their 10 kids in the video. Oh, I got a busy work life. And it's like this person has 3 jobs and they're still creating content on their lunch break and growing their following and selling their products. And it's like, so you get this sense of accountability because you see people who have just as much or even more controversy and adversity in their life who are still making things happen. So it's like, okay, I got to stop making excuses. And then there is that sense of competition too, because it's like, hey, if that person can do it, I can do it. And there's so much to learn. So you're constantly a student. I think being a creator forces you to embody and embrace so many aspects of growing as a human being. And that's why I love being a creator. You know what I mean? And we don't have to go too deep into it, but I'm a man of God. I follow Jesus personally, and I know that being created in his image, I have some of the gifts. I have the gift of creativity. Like that's a gift from God to be able to, like God spoke and created the world. So we think, and we can go on an app like CapCut and make a video and turn it into like this full-blown production that thousands of people see, and it shifts their emotions and it gives them hope and it gives them ideas to create things that make an impact on their community. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. So it goes really deep how I look at it. But yeah, hopefully I answered your question.
No, yeah, wow. I knew bringing you on would be powerful, but you just make me choke up sometimes with you're really good with your words and
Thank you.
explaining things. Okay, so I just feel emotional. Okay. You just give me
Well, if you cry,
emotional.
I'm gonna
I
cry.
know.
Okay.
I don't even okay. I don't even know. I guess where I'll go next is, you decide, you make a decision, hey, I have these gifts, here's how I'm going to use them. Let me go be an Instagram coach. So then what happens? Do you have a plan of action or do you just start posting all messy? Like
No
tell us
plan.
what happened?
No plan. No plan at all. I didn't have a plan. I was just, everything was just off the cuff. Like I would just look and see, intuitively just kind of study the nuances of what other Instagram coaches were doing, what they were talking about, what topics keep popping up from one coach to the next, one creator to the next. Okay, everybody's talking about the algorithm. Everybody's talking about hooks. Everybody's talking about captions. Everybody's talking about hashtags. Okay, cool. So what are all the things I need to know about hashtags? And this is when you can go in the hashtag, and they had the recent section and the top section. So I would just go to the top section. I would look at what the top performing content, what the creators were talking about. And I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense. I can talk about that. That makes sense too. Now I understand that, so now I can teach that and I can coach that. So I was doing a lot of picking and mimicking from other creators, while I was just trying to hone in my own skills. My content sucked. I mean, I didn't know how to position my content to actually appeal to the right audience. So most of my growth in the beginning didn't come from just organic content bringing in followers. I used here's so this is where the story really unfolds, and people are going to be like, oh, okay, this is what it takes. I We were in the pandemic. I didn't know exactly how to, like, I didn't have a content strategy. I had to figure that out as I was building a plane while it was going down, right? um and I went on this app called Clubhouse that my friend, a couple people had told me about, but I ignored it because it was just like, I'm not trying to get distracted with too much stuff. One of my best friends said, "Yo, with what you're doing now with Instagram, you need to get on Clubhouse because you can join so many conversations related around social media, and you can network and you can get clients and followers and things like that." I said, "All right, cool." So I went on the app. My first time on the app, I went on with my friend, and we were on the app for no lie 8 hours straight.
Oh my God.
So we went into a networking room, and I was just kind of hanging out to kind of get the nature of the app. So I was hopping from one room to the next, and then you say, "Yo, there's just one room where there's like 400 or 500 people in there, bro, and like it'll take you some time, but they let you introduce yourself, and with 400, 500 people in the room, bro, you could definitely like grow your following off of that." So we only had 15 seconds because there were so many people in the room. So they would go one by one by one. And I get into the room. I'm person number 488. So I'm like, dang, I got to wait for 487 people to speak first. So multiply that by 15 seconds. And then in between, the hosts are talking about other things and promoting their own stuff. So it finally gets to me, and I'm like, hey, what's up? My name is Monty. I'm an Instagram coach. I teach people how to build a personal brand and grow their business and grow their following on Instagram. Go to my profile on Clubhouse, hit the button, follow me on Instagram, shoot me a DM. Let's talk about how I can help you, whatever. So it's just something very basic, and I just kept doing that every single day. Like I was on Clubhouse for, like, no lie, at least 4 hours every single day, Monday through Sunday, for like the first 6 to 8 months. Um, just that was how I grew my Instagram,
That's
right?
insane. Because so
Yeah.
many other people will do one viral video and then they got us, and then you got Monty over here putting in the work.
Yeah, so it was all I knew at the time. It took me it took me a year to go from 5,638 followers, which is like where I started when I said I'm going to be an Instagram coach. It took me a year to get from that to 10,000 followers. And majority of that was off of Clubhouse. Along the way, I became more popular on the app and in the room because I kept going to the same room, so people become familiar. The hosts of the room, the moderators became familiar with me, and then they would pull me up and let me be a moderator. So now when you're a moderator, you sit at the top of the room, and everybody that comes in, you're like a head honcho in the club, right? In the club, we all fam, like it's like there would be, all the hosts would be at the top. So essentially you become one of the people that everybody wants to know and everybody wants to get in good graces with. So I
Oh,
went in these rooms often enough, and I always shared some type of value. I always brought good energy, so they just like made me a moderator, and that's how more people started following me from Clubhouse to Instagram. And eventually, my friend and I started our own club on Clubhouse called the Digital Hustler Dynasty. And shout out to whoever hears this that is from the Digital Hustler Dynasty, if they ever hear this. But yeah, and then we grew that community to like 4,000 people, and we did rooms every single day. We had a networking room, we had two social media rooms, we had a faith and fellowship room, we had a business room. We had a room for almost every important topic that tied together around social media and business and faith. And yeah, once we did that, that's when I actually launched a legitimate like product that people can buy, and it was like a 1 day workshop, and it was like $25, and I promoted it on Clubhouse. I promoted it inside our group, and that one workshop I made like $4,000, and it was $25 for the workshop. So do the
Oh,
math on however many people that was. But that was when I was like, okay, I got something.
uh,
I got something.
uh-huh.
you know?
It's always
Yeah.
that first sale. You're like, holy crap, you can actually make money with it. So yours was, my first product was also $25. So yours was
Wow.
too?
Yeah. Yeah. It
I
was a
feel
$25 workshop.
I feel like that's like the sweet spot for someone that's listening. That's like, okay, I want to do something like that. Like, what do you always recommend to people that are just getting started? How do you tell them to make money? Like, what should be their first thing?
Yeah. I think, a digital product is the easiest way, the best way to like ease into selling online, right? And you can literally just make it a $5 product. It's really just about doing your research and paying attention to find out what is the information that people are most desperate to have. Like, what are the popular questions people are asking? And then can I tie my own system or a specific strategy that's effective around whatever that challenge is that a lot of people have, and you create that product. It can be a ebook. It could be your signature checklist. It could be a short video series where you're giving tutorials, step-by-step tutorials on how to do a specific thing. And just for proof of concept, you charge a small amount, $5. You know what I mean? Let me just see if this is something people will pay for at all. Will somebody pull out their wallet to pay for this? And you see, and if you notice that somebody buys it, then it's like, okay, this is great. And you have to do your market research. So the best way to go about it, I would say, is first do stuff for free to get proof of concept and to get testimonials, right? You don't know unless you're just super confident, right? Then this won't apply to you if you're like 100% confident in what you're doing and you want to just go straight for making the money. But like if you're unsure about your course, your product, yourself, this is what you do. Go do something for free, right? Hey guys, I'm hosting a free masterclass, or I'm working, looking for 5 people that want to get free coaching on how to do X, Y, and Z. And you work with those 5 people, or 3 people, or even 1 or 2 people, however many, as if they paid you $1,000 or $2,000. You
Yeah,
give them the full experience,
over deliver.
right? And in exchange, you say, hey, listen, all I want, if you like what I give you, is an honest testimonial and permission to share that testimonial and use it in my marketing and use it to promote my service. You get that green light, give them the service, and you get feedback, right? Have like a questionnaire asking them about the experience. Hey, where did you think I can improve? What did you like about the experience? What would you change about this experience? What do you think there needs to be more of? Or was it just amazing? And then now you know how to improve it, but now you have 5 testimonials of success, and you have 5 case studies of people who have used your system or took your course, followed your guide, and they got results. So now you create content around that and you tell their success story. And now you use that to get paying clients for your next 5 people, right?
Yeah,
Hey, doing a special sale, right? Normally it's this price, but we're doing it at half off,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Here's what we did for Sally. Here's what we did for Michael. Here's what we did
yeah,
for Brandon, right?
yeah,
We could do it for you. And
yeah.
now that snowball effect starts to kick in where you can scale up your offer and scale up your products. And that's really all it is with digital products, is what is in high demand? What do people need in terms of information systems, transformations that I have knowledge on, or I can create a product around and offer it to that audience. And then you just wash, rinse, and repeat. Yeah.
When you said you did a 1 day workshop, like where that was, it like a virtual, like they get to spend how many hours did you do?
Yeah. So it was I did a 1 day workshop, and then I did a 2 day workshop.
Okay.
It was about reels. So this is when reels started becoming a thing, which was perfect for me because my graphic content, my
Yeah.
carousel content, it was just terrible. It wasn't hitting at all. Like I can scroll back
Okay.
now, I still got like 6 likes, but I was hyped though. I was like, yo, 6 people. I got 6 people. 6 people rock with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't care about I don't care about your little viral post. I don't care about your little viral carousel. I got 6 real ones. I
You'll
got
see why I love him so much. He's dumb and it's hilarious.
I got I got 6 real ones. Holla at your boy, right? Like 100 men versus one gorilla. I got your viral video or viral post versus my 6 likes. Holla, all right. But yeah, no, yeah, I mean, I was just, it was definitely a a journey for me. It was definitely a journey for me.
Your journey is very different from a lot of the other creators that I've interviewed. So I love that I get to talk with you about this because most people are like, oh, I had one reel go viral and then blah blah blah. But
Oh my God, yeah,
I know, and it's I can't believe that you spent as much time as you did in another social media platform
yeah,
pushing another. That's insane. You put in the work.
yeah.
What?
But that's what it is. That's what it is. Like, I'll just give this quick analogy. I know you have another question, but like,
No, you're good.
most people are looking for that viral reel to just change everything, and it's like this whole like myth about what it takes to actually be successful. Like, the overnight success doesn't happen overnight. It happens over months, over years. It happens over tons of repetitions. Like, most people are gonna go through these three phases. Whoever's listening to this, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna go through these three phases, and you can't skip. Like, phase number one is, I can't believe I'm doing all this work and I'm not getting any results. I'm not getting enough results. That's always phase one. And that period of time can be days, it could be weeks, it could be months, and it can even be years, because it's dependent on your ability to learn and apply. And it's also dependent on your commitment to collapsing time frames. If you are doing something, if you're trying to get great at something, and there's too much of a gap in between each repetition of you practicing that thing, you're never really going to retain enough information or skill development to carry over into the next level of success or productivity, right? So if you're trying to learn how to do a transition, right, or a certain edit, and you try it today, and then the next time you try it is a month from now. Well, between today and next month, you lost any information that you retained, and it's like looking at a blank screen again. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like you're painting in the rain. You put a stroke and it's raining for 30 days. When you go back to the canvas, there's nothing on there anymore because it washed off. You know what I'm saying? Like, you
I
have
love
to be, yeah, you have to be at it every single day in order to actually retain. So it's like cooking. Cook the same meal every single day for 30 days. And by day 30, you don't need a recipe book. You don't need a measuring cup. You just know it instinctively. You don't have to think. You could be on the phone while you're making that meal. You could be watching a television show while you're cooking. You could be distracted while you're cooking because you made this meal so many times with very little space in between those reps that now it's second nature to you, right? A song, you hear a song and you play it on repeat all day. After about a week of listening to that song, you know it by heart. You become the artist, right?
that.
But if you listen to the song today and the next time you listen to it is 2 months from now, aka you post one time today and then you don't post again until next week,
Right.
you're not building any momentum to actually retain loyalty from an audience, because there's so much content out there that people can get distracted by anyway.
There is a lot of listeners that are just getting started. What's your biggest piece of advice for them if they're like, "Oh, my goal is 10,000 followers?" Like, do you give them any kind of advice about that?
Yeah, it's good to have a goal for how many followers you want. I think the most important thing is you need to write down, okay, who's my audience, their demographic, you know what I mean, their age, their gender, their location, what they do, what their income is probably like, um, what's their psychographic, what are the things they're challenged with, what are the insecurities that they have, what are the worries that they have, right? What's their lifestyle, what does their lifestyle look like? Because all of this caters to how you communicate with them and what you talk about in your content, right? And once you understand your audience on that level, then it's like, all right, what are the main pain points, and what pain points is there a solution that I can actually charge them for, that they would pay for? You know what I mean? Like, a meaningful pain point, something that is important enough for them to want to change. And what's the transformation they desire? And then you make a list of those things. And then you attach those pain points to the solutions. You attach those desires to stories that you tell connected to the solutions. And you create content. I say in the beginning, you have to diversify to identify, right? So if you're starting from zero, you have to diversify your content to identify what what is like the holy trinity, right? Content that serves the goal, is focused on the goal, content that is actually compelling, and at the same time it feels true to who you are, right? Because if your content is like let's say it is focused on whatever the topic it is. It's focused on it's niche focus, it's the value that people need, but it's not creative or compelling enough, you're not going to get much reach. You're not going to get much engagement, right? If your content is compelling but it's not focused on your niche, then there's no point in putting that content out because you're not going to get the right audience anyway. And if you have compelling content and content that's focused on your niche but it's not true to you, well, now burnout becomes more possible, right? Now imposter syndrome starts to form, right? And now you kind of start questioning yourself and feeling discouraged because I have to put on this fake persona every day
Mm-hmm.
because this is the persona that people are buying into. You know what I mean? So you show up on social media in a way that you it's not true to you in real life. So you have to diversify your content styles. All right, I'm gonna try green screen. I'm gonna try lip syncs. I'm gonna try voiceover. I'm gonna try storytelling. I'm gonna try transitions. I'm gonna try B-roll with text. Try everything to one figure out okay what content formats are sustainable for me that I can do repeatedly without feeling burnt out, and what content formats at the same time are also appealing to my audience. Like I'm getting engagement from them. So you might find your storytelling content sucks, right? But when you do a freaking viral dance or like a cool transition and you put some value in there, it gets a lot of attention. So it's like, okay, cool. Well, I'm not going to tell as many stories. I'm just going to focus on this stuff because this is what gets the yeah. You know what I mean? So you have to do that for a period of time, right? You're in the experimentation phase. Once you figure that out, then your strategy becomes like 70 to 80% what works all the time, 20 to 30% experimenting with new things and trying to pay attention to what's happening in the social media world, what style of content is starting to become more popular, and then strengthening your skills and experimenting with that so you can continue to build on your content forms. I think ultimately you want to have one or two signature content formats that you can like it's like your content style, your branded content style. Like when people see that content, they feel that it's you, they know that it's you. If they see it from somebody else, it reminds them of you.
Like, is there anything creatively that you've been experimenting with
Hmm.
last month? Because for
Yeah,
me, people who post all the time, it can get stagnant, it can get boring. So, like, what
yeah,
are some things you do to keep yourself
yeah,
creative?
yeah. I step outside the box. Like I'm not afraid to get low views. And I go through these seasons where I have like low views consistently. I'm like, am I actually a good creator anymore? Like, I mean, like I still question myself. I'm human, but under the surface, I know like this is you're trying new things. People aren't used to it, and you don't really have anything proven that this style is gonna work or whatever. So I step outside the box. Like now I'm experimenting with like the whole podcast style content where you're like not looking at the camera, but you're giving like some inspirational advice or whatever. And just seeing how that goes. And it's not getting a whole bunch of views and engagement, but it feels good that I'm trying something new. So it doesn't feel redundant, but I am also getting like good responses from the few people that actually do see it. Um, but I do have my go-tos, right? Like when I share real ideas, those always perform really well. When I do like my creative genius breakdowns where I break down and analyze other people's viral content and help people understand the nuances that they can apply to their content, that always performs well. And just yeah, and anytime I'm doing like just something silly and relating it to like the experience of a content creator, that performs well. So I know what content is always going to do well, but I also want to experiment with new formats just to challenge myself as a creator and to see how I can impact my audience or a wider audience as well.
Monty made me pretend to fart in a phone one time for a video idea.
Whatever it takes.
You remember that one? We need to repost it. I need to find it. Like,
Yeah,
he's like,
yeah.
which dodo creator friend of mine will be so down to fart in his phone? Oh yeah, Caitlin will.
Hey, Caitlin, you want to fart in the video with me? Yeah, sure,
I was like, yeah, I'll
absolutely.
have it to you in 5.
Well, my only question is who farts first? Do you fart first? Do I fart first? Yeah.
Oh man, little things like that. Okay, to wrap us up, you've given us so much. To wrap us up, let's just do some little rapid fire real quick. What's your favorite like top 3 tools that help you make content?
Okay, so CapCut
Hmm.
for my video editing, or video recording and editing. ManyChat for DM automation specifically. Um, I love Stan for just having like a digital storefront presence and for people to be able to just see everything that I have to offer is organized in one place, and I can also keep track. I collect a lot of leads
Mm.
through Stan. Like all my digital like lead magnets, I make them, I upload it to Stan, and I have thousands of email list subscribers because of that. So like those are just three, but then there's other tools that I use intermittently just for like specific things. For I don't know if people know about Rimini. Rimini is like good for like taking blurry photos and like fixing the pixelization and making it like a well produced photo. Yeah,
Wow.
it's crazy. Rimini, Remini. Um, and there's like AI, dabbling with AI a little bit. There's a platform called everybody knows about ChatGPT. There's a new one that I'm experimenting with called Poppy. It's really good. I'm probably going to be doing some coaching on that and probably create some type of like program to help people produce some very powerful viral level type content for their personal brand. So yeah, just a handful that I'm using like all the time, and then there's like a few that I just use for use cases, like specific use cases.
Okay. Okay. I like that. What's something about being a creator that nobody prepared you for?
Wow. That nobody prepared me for. I think just the unlimited
Mm.
opportunities, right?
Mm.
Like
Mhm.
when there's no limit to what you can create, right? So it's like I wasn't prepared for that. And I'll specifically for like Instagram and just the social media where like just all the changes. Every day, every week, there's something new that you have to learn.
Mm.
Like nobody prepared me to not ever get comfortable.
Mm.
Like
So
I'm
true.
never comfortable. Never comfortable.
And then when you think you're like, oh, I'm good now. I figured it out. It's like, oh, hey, we changed something on the
Yep.
algorithm, or this
Yep.
app is getting new edits. Yeah, feel that.
Yep.
Well, I know people are gonna want to be. They're gonna be running from this episode to your doors to figure out how they can work with you. So, tell us about like, what's one of your favorite offers that they can?
Yeah.
How can they work with you? How can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, yeah. Of course people can just follow me and like DM me. Um, I'm getting back into one-on-one coaching really soon. I kind of took a pause for it, but I'm gonna be jumping back into that. But right now, I have a private community. It's called the Creative Genius Club. It's for anybody who's struggling with creativity, coming up with ideas, building a content strategy that works consistently, feeling burnout from not having a well thought out system for content creation, um, maybe having trouble with accountability. You know what I mean? You're figuring this out on your own, and you're just not. You don't have the support that you need to like stay motivated, to stay on task. That's what we do inside the community. We do live training every single month. We do creativity labs where we study content in real time together. We share ideas every single week for anybody from pretty much any niche. And we do mentorship sessions. And if you're a faith driven person, we do faith and fellowship every month as well. So it's a very well-rounded community, real creators. I'm in there, I'm active, I'm doing the live stuff, and we record everything. So if you miss it live, you catch the replay. It's just a great place to groom yourself as a content creator and get some professional level help without spending crazy amounts of money to get it,
Yeah,
basically.
love
Yeah.
that.
So it's called the Creative Genius Club. www.creativegenius.club. Holla at y'all, bye.
Much. And
Yeah.
I will link his I'll link that and his username. I think it's just Monty Lands, right, on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll link that for you guys in the show notes. But definitely give him a follow. He's amazing. He's a great friend.
Thank you.
I'm so
Yeah.
thankful that you came on and shared your story with us because you've got a really
Yeah.
cool story. And so
I appreciate you so much. Thanks for having me. And yeah, well, I'm anytime you want to do this
yeah,
again, we'll do a part two in the
we'll
future or
do
something
this
like
again.
that.
We'll do a part two, and then maybe we do like a master class slash
Yeah.
podcast. If you are
Or like
listening,
a workshop, live
yeah,
workshop together. You know what I'm saying? Like we're
be
not
down.
far.
Yep, down for. Oh yeah, we could do this live. We're down
Yes.
for whatever. Send me a DM over on Call Her Creator and let us know what you want from me and Monty. I'd love to set something up. But thank you so much, friend. I love you so much.
Let's
Really
grow.
great. And I'll
Love
see
you.
you.
God bless. Let's get it.
All right.
Yeah.